Thanks for joining me again today. As opposed to doing my usual workout, exercise, and stretching videos, today I wanted to have a discussion. And what I want to talk about today is something that's important. I think we all know how important it is to stay fit and to exercise to maintain your physical and your mental well-being. However, even knowing these facts and knowing the benefits of exercising, there are many reasons that people have for why they don't exercise on a consistent basis. I have found that there are some very common underlying themes for why people choose to not exercise, and that will be the topic of today's discussion. I will be discussing the top 5 reasons why people are not exercising consistently and why it's a lie. Without further ado, let's get into it. Reason number 1, I'm tired. Life comes and hits you and you reach a point where you have to work and earn an income, and you have to volunteer on the side, and you have to do things that are gonna help benefit you in your professional career. You're working a 9 to 5 maybe, possibly doing overtime, working overnight shifts. Taking care of adult responsibilities can be extremely tiring, both for those who work and for those who are parents. And while you're taking care of all these things, it's taking away that energy and the enthusiasm that you have to go and exercise. So this is one of the biggest obstacles for why they're not exercising. I had a long day. The kids drove me crazy. We have to remind ourselves of the importance of exercise. It should be a major priority in your life. I understand it can be completely exhausting, but once again, you have to remind yourself of the benefits and the importance of maintaining your physical fitness. Always remember, you don't have to do what these extreme fitness enthusiasts are doing, spending hours at the gym, buying all this equipment and machines. Oftentimes, exercise can be something as simple as going out for a walk or a light jog. And there are multiple benefits to this. You can enjoy the weather. It's a good time to de-stress. It's also a great time to be able to bond and build those connections with your friends, with your coworkers. You can build a better relationship with your kids and influence them to live a healthier lifestyle by promoting fitness and going on walks with them, taking them to the playground. If you don't have that time in your day to dedicate the 1 or 2 hours of extreme exercise, you can always take that 10 minutes or 15 minutes during your lunch break, maybe after work, maybe in the morning when you're taking your kids to school. If you are someone who works hard and you find that you're often using this excuse of being tired as a way to justify why you shouldn't exercise, well, always remember this: there are 24 hours in a day. And I'm sure that at some point in your day you can fit in 10 to 15 minutes to do a light exercise. It doesn't even have to be something extremely intense. This is one of the major reasons or excuses that I've heard people say for why they don't exercise. And I hope I don't have to hear that again from any of you or me, because I'm guilty of using that excuse too. Reason number 2. I don't have access to a gym. Well, I think we all know by this point, being physically fit doesn't mean that you have to have a gym membership. It also doesn't mean that you need really expensive equipment to get the job done. You don't need a treadmill in your house. You don't need weights, push-ups and sit-ups, running on the spot, jogging on the spot, doing burpees. These are all exercises that I have either covered in some of my past videos or I will be going over in my future videos, so stay tuned for that. Not having access to a gym or not having a gym membership is not a good excuse for why you're not exercising. So for those of you who have used this reason in the past, and you know who you are, start to think about how you can use your own body weight to exercise. It starts with something as simple as going outside for a walk, going to the park nearby. If you don't have a park nearby, you can definitely exercise in your home by doing some simple basic stretches and calisthenic body weight exercises like push-ups and sit-ups and squats and calf lifts. Really simple exercises that you can incorporate, and you really don't need a gym to do any of that. So that's another excuse that I don't want to hear from any of you. Reason number 3, I'm not motivated. This is something I've been guilty of myself. Like some of you, I go through cycles where I am on top of my A game, exercising every day, making sure that I'm doing my routine and never missing a beat. However, I also go through cycles where I just don't have that same motivation, that same passion or enthusiasm to exercise and really go hard to take care of my body. And that's due to a number of reasons. You can be going through a tough time either at work, at home, some family issues, relationships. There's a number of things that could happen that could really shoot you down and make you lose that motivation to even take care of yourself. So this is completely normal. But the important thing is figuring out how to get over that hump, because a lack of motivation is one of the best ways to get stuck in this negative reinforcing cycle. Once you lose that motivation, it only spirals downwards from there and it gets worse and worse. Now all of a sudden your sleeping habits have changed, your eating habits have changed, gain weight excessively in a short amount of time. There's really a number of issues that are associated with that. How do you fix that issue? How do you get motivated again? You want to move away from that negative reinforcing cycle to a positive reinforcing cycle. And what that means is surrounding yourself with positive people, positive ideas, things that initiate that hunger, that drive to be better. What I do is I look into specifically professional athletes, their history, their background, their life stories, and you learn about some of these harsh obstacles that they were able to overcome. People like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. You get a sense of what they went through and how mentally strong they were to be able to overcome that. That perspective alone is enough to reignite that passion you have for physical fitness. Surrounding yourself with friends and family who genuinely want you to do better in life, that's also a great way to get that motivation back so that you can start taking care of your body. Reason number 4, I don't have time. This for me has always been fascinating because there are 24 hours in a day. You have the time to do things that are not benefiting you. You have the time to check your social media. You have time to get in your car and drive to the McDonald's or the Tim Hortons. You have the time to hop on a phone call. You have time to do all of these little things, but when it comes to exercise, you don't have time. If you can just dedicate small amounts of time every single day on a consistent basis, that will make a huge difference in your life. I'll do each exercise a full body workout, doing as many push-ups as I can one time, doing as many squats as you can one time, doing as many sit-ups as you can one time. By the time you're done, it'll be 15-20 minutes tops, and you would have done a complete full body exercise. So not having time, not the best excuse. Reason number 5, I'm already fit. Earlier I mentioned those positive reinforcing cycle and the negative reinforcing cycle, where if I am in that mood and motivated to exercise, I'm just going super hard every day and I never skip a beat. It is at those times when I usually feel my best. However, sometimes what happens is I might take that one day off. That one day turns into 2 days and then 3 days. Now all of a sudden you find yourself eating foods that are a little more unhealthy. You start to feel a little more sluggish. And at this point is when you're transitioning from that positive reinforcing cycle to that negative reinforcing cycle. So not only are you not exercising, but you're starting to adopt and pick up negative habits. And once you start adopting those negative habits, they're pretty hard to kick. It makes it even harder to exercise. Well, how do you get out of that cycle? The people who usually get caught in this cycle are people like me, who typically exercise on a regular basis. That thought of, I'm already fit, I'm sore from my last workout, so I can take that day off. And it is these excuses that make it easier to push off the exercise. You don't want to be satisfied with what you're doing. That's when the excuses start to pile up. Always strive to be better than you were the day before. And in order to do this, you have to set realistic goals for yourself. depending on what sport you're into, what kind of exercise you're trying to do, whether that's lifting weights or doing yoga. Think about the main areas that you want to improve on and start to measure and track those changes. Now, I've gone through the top 5 excuses for why people don't exercise. Maybe you've realized that some of these excuses apply to you. I have been guilty of using every single one of these excuses on the list. Falling into these traps is extremely dangerous and can have negative effects on your health. So in order to take care of yourself, remember these 5 reasons and don't ever use them. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be dropping videos weekly. I'm looking forward to this journey and I'm extremely excited that you guys are on this path with me. So until next week, peace!